Hi, hello, and welcome to episode 62 of the Whips and Whimsy podcast. My name is Zena. If my pronouns are they, them, I am so happy that you are joining me here today on Tuesday, October 25th, 2026. It is a little bit hot in my room. Also, I have been walking around a little bit today outside in the humidity, so if I look a little dewy, just ignore me. This is my knitting and reading YouTube channel where I talk about all the things I've been crafting on lately, everything that I've been spending my time on, all of those good things. It's going to be a jam-packed episode today. I have some interesting statistics that I haven't seen many other podcasters talk about, and I have the numbers, so I thought I'll share them. I have one tiny pig to show. I have two finished objects to show. I have two new sock whips. I have another new cast on. Everything I'm going to show today is going to be a new cast on from the last time we had an update. But I have two that are socks, one that is not socks. I have also 3 different yarn hauls. You probably saw them all jumbled together in the thumbnail. We'll go through those individually. And I also have 5 books to talk about, including one that I left over there. So at some point we will pause and grab that, probably when we transition into talking about books. Anyway, it is a lot. I am excited. It's going to be a good time. I have a couple of housekeeping things first. The main thing I want to talk about, the first very part, my immediate to be knit pile is here. I know it has been changing every time I film, usually without me actually knitting anything. That is because I am working on all of my holiday gift knitting for people. If you're one of the people who gets holiday gifts from me, if you know, you know, and you don't want to be spoiled, I would recommend maybe not watching this channel until like after Yule. I will try to give individualized warnings, but there's gonna be a spoiler in the background for socks that could go to you. So if you don't want to know, if you want to be spoiled, and you're one of my in real life friends, just keep that in mind. However, these are now like finalized colors that I will be knitting in the following weeks. So we can stop playing guesswork about, are these just here randomly or are they actually going to get knit? Because I tend to I make plans and then immediately deviate from them. If you've watched the channel for a while, you've seen this multiple times where I'm like, I'm going to work on this, and then I don't. That was the first thing I want to talk about. The second thing I want to talk about was how much I knit per day. I thought it would be kind of fun to go over some numbers just before we even get into the episode really. As most of you probably know, I do have an injured shoulder right now. I'm going to physical therapy twice a week so that I can get back to knitting the way that I normally do, because I have been knitting at half strength or less since June, which is fun. But part of what I have to do for physical therapy is I have to time my knitting segments into half-hour blocks of time. I also cannot knit. Right now it's 4 hours, not allowed to knit past 4 hours. So I keep tally marks on a little, post-it note every day, which means that now I have a record, an actual measured record of how much I knit per day. So I thought it'd be fun that, since I started officially counting, which was not the day of the last episode, it was 3 days after that. So 3 days after the last episode and then forward through today, I have knit 22.5 hours. So everything that you'll see, except for some of the socks I think that I already had on the needles, 22.5 hours worth of work. So I thought that was kind of interesting. A final fun thing that we're going to talk about, I also decided to start choosing my own adventure when I knit, because if I am left to my own devices, I only ever knit socks, and then I feel guilty that I'm not working on any of my other projects. So I made a new decision roulette wheel, and I put some other options in there. I put the Lusk t-shirt I haven't shown in weeks because I haven't worked on it in weeks. I put the baby blankets I'm supposed to be knitting, and sometimes I work on them and sometimes I don't. My tiny pigs, the beanie I have not worked on in months, but is supposed to be done. Put that on there. My Advent projects that I still, again, Am I ever getting to them? Check your horoscope. Put those all on a little spinner. I also made one for just like insert scrap project here. However, whatever project I want to work on that will work with eating up my scrap yarn. Put that on my spinner, and then when I start the day, I just spin the wheel. And I don't spend my whole day on it, but I spend minimum 1 30-minute section of time on whatever the wheel tells me to do. So today it was a tiny pig. I've already knit my tiny pig. I get to show it to you. And yeah, those are all of my random fun things I've been working on. Let's get into the things I've actually made. First of all, here's my one singular tiny pig. This is the Chichester the Pig pattern by, I think it's Helen Apocalypse or like Apocalypse Knits or something. I don't know. I'll link it down below. I've memorized this pattern because I've made tons and tons and tons of them. They make me so happy. It is where I put my little, like my tiniest little scraps of yarn, because these take about 3 to 4 grams of fingering weight yarn held double. And it's where my itty bitty scraps go to die. Making tiny pigs, and I just hand them out to people at random and let them have a good time. So yeah, they're cute. I have exactly one, and then I was like, okay, back to my socks. So that's that. Speaking of socks, I have 2 finished objects. And this is the first one. These are the Premier Farm Stand line, which is an acrylic blend. These are for my mom for probably her birthday. They might be for Christmas, or her birthday and Christmas are the same week, so it's kind of like interchangeable. And this is the red onion colorway, I should say that. To me, they give Cheshire Cat vibes. But I freaking love them. I wish that I had like kind of like a mustardy, like sickly yellow to go with them to really make them like Cheshire Cat energy, but I don't know. I think they're adorable. I love them. I love the way the heels look. Yeah. All of the socks I'm going to show you today are going to be the same basic flavor, vanilla. I do 10 rounds of ribbing for the cuff. Sometimes I do half twisted, sometimes 1 by 1, sometimes 2 by 2. It just kind of depends on what I'm feeling. But it's always 10 rounds. I do 30 rounds for the leg, slip stitch, heel, however many rounds I need for the foot. Most of the socks, if not all of the socks that I'm showing today, are going to be 60 rounds for the foot, because I just keep knitting for tiny footed people. And then I do a square toe and I finish. I do 56 stitches on size 1.5 Addy Flexi Flips. And yeah, my apologies if there's a lot of cuts in this episode. I sat down and my throat was like, you don't want to talk today. And I'm like, I promise that I do. So there's that. Anyway, I set these to the side and then I realized I needed blockers. The next pair of socks. Bear with me while I put socks on blockers. How are you? What are you working on? Do you have a drink, a snack, a craft? Tell me all about your day. Let's chit chat in the comments, which is my favorite part of having a YouTube channel. If you're one of my people who comments on my videos, you're the MVP and I adore you. Okay, we're ready. I finished these socks and I love them so much. They're so good. I showed them before I gave a warning about who they're going to, so now I can't say who they're going to. They're going to someone in my life. They're a gift. I love them. I love them. I love them. I love them. This is the Baker's Twine sock set from Tiny Human Knits. I got it last summer, so I don't know if it's available now or if it will be available again. I don't think I've ever knit a self-striping yarn that just had 2 colors before, and I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it, to be honest. But like, I love them. So it's great. I'm a little bit sad. I think I have like just under the amount I would need to make a second pair of socks because I bought the 50-gram set. I try to buy 50-gram quantities as much as humanly possible because I just don't need 100 grams. if I buy 100 grams, I have to make 2 or 3 projects to get it to the point of like even having it be a scrap amount of yarn. Like I can get a pair of socks, I can get a beanie out of it and still have enough to do a second pair of socks if I just contrast the cuff, heel, and toe. And like it's insane. Like sorry, we're going on a tangent. This yarn, I've gotten 2 full pairs of socks out of it already. And this is like not even really a scrap. Like I don't know how much this is, but this is like absolutely more than 20 grams. Like it's 100 grams is a lot. So I love, my favorite thing in the entire world is when yarn dyers give you the 50 gram option. And I love them. Anyway, those are those socks. The next thing we're going to talk about, let's talk about sock whips. In no particular order, because I cast both of these on the same day. In this bag, which is also from Tiny Human Knits, I have socks. And these are this is a yarn you haven't seen yet. From a dyer I have not bought yarn from before, but you're going to see a lot more of her yarn here towards the end of the episode when we go through the massive yarn haul. So, this is from Magic Land Yarns. I was influenced. I watched Therapy by Craft. Her videos are awesome. And she knit up some test swatches for Magic Land Yarn. And as you may know, I have become a Disney adult this year. Whoops. And so the moment, like my little Disney loving soul heard that, like, ooh, there's an entire, like, there's an indie dyer who just only does Disney themed yarn, I was like, just take my money. Just have it. All of it. Would you like it all? I can just give you my bank account info. Like, it's fine. And like when it came in, I ended up putting in 3 orders, first of all, which we'll get into more towards the end of the episode. I ended up like, it was like I purchased yarn and then I saw more and then I saw more, and like I could have just bought it all at once with the one-time coupon and that would have made sense. No, I used the coupon to buy a singular skein of yarn and then assumed I could repeat use it. You can't repeat use the coupon. And then I paid full price for like another, I don't know, 6-7 skeins. Good job to me. Anyway, we'll talk about this towards the end. I'm saying this for myself because we need to stay slightly on track. This is the Marigold Bridge colorway on the zebra sock base, which has this wonderful like marled black in, and then the rest of it is obviously dyed yellow. I feel like it gives Charlie Brown, which I love. I feel like it also, to some extent, gives Purdue University, which is where my dad went to college. So I'm like, ooh, it's too bad my dad literally doesn't need any knit items. He doesn't wear knit socks. He lives in Florida. He does not need any knitwear. I would love to knit him something in it because he would be so excited. He's like so into being like having gone to Purdue. He's like really into it. Anyway, once again, this is my usual vanilla. These socks are going to be for me. I am being incredibly indulgent in knitting myself a pair of socks, even though I have tons. I have probably like 7 or 8 pairs of socks to make. Both between, I have multiple friends who are born in October who are like on my knit list. And then I still have a bunch of pairs of socks to make for people for Yule. So I'm currently working on the October people because that happens first, obviously. And then I'll deal with Christmas / Yule for people. But this is my self-indulgence because I wanted these and I was like, I'm casting these on right now and no one's going to stop me. So the yarn is super plump, super squishy. It is a 2-ply, I think. I don't know, maybe it's not a 2-ply actually. I'm not sure how many plies it is, but it's it's like plump and juicy and soft and just so good. I can't wait to wear these on my feet. And yeah, I'm using, this is not from Magic Land Yarns, ironically, but I am using my little Strawberry Lemonade Minnie Mouse stitch marker. I never show you guys my stitch markers. I should. This is from 3 by the Sea Designs, which is a yarn dyer based out of Florida. So it makes sense that they would have Disney themed stuff. So I bought that and I use it pretty regularly. Yeah. I'm also marking the start of the counting rows for the foot with a little ghosty, which I think I won. I won this on Alindria's Knit Along last summer. Which is funny because in this episode, another spoiler is that some of the yarn I'm going to show is yarn that I won from Alindria's Knit Along this year. Anyway, I think that's all I have to say about that yarn. I'm really excited about it. This is one that I'm not mad that I have 100 grams of, even though it means I'm going to have to like work hard to use it all. Like, I don't think I'm going to have to work that hard to use it all, to be fully honest with you, because I love the color. I love how soft and bouncy it is, and I think it's just going to be a really, really, really great time. So, yeah, this is my baby, if you couldn't tell. My other pair of socks, my I Need to Be Responsible socks, are in my Summer Sock Camp 2026 bag. Next week, Summer Sock Camp ends next week, and I will, at that point, switch my yarn bags out for the season and kind of just put them into other ones. I'll bring the mermaid bag back. I'll put this one in for a rest. And yeah, it'll be good. I don't know exactly which ones I'm going to pick, how I'm going to move everything around, but they're going to change up a little bit, and that's okay. Anyway, if your name is Alec, and for some reason you are watching this, first of all, thank you for watching. Second of all, look away. Because these are for you, and you don't want to be spoiled. I don't want to spoil you. Don't go away. Are you gone? Okay, bye. Love you. For everybody else who's here who is not Alec, look at this freaking sock, yo. Look how good it is. I'm hoping the camera is going to pick up that the kind of like lighter parts of the variegation are really soft, smoky, kind of like hazy purple and not silver. Because I don't think the sock makes as much sense when the camera is only showing silver. And I know when I was taking pictures of these for Instagram, it was. But I love these too. This is yarn that my friend Kaylee gave me last year. She destashed like all of her sock yarn to me. And I've just been slowly picking my way through it all. And this one is from Lorna's Laces, who I have never worked with before, but I'm loving this yarn so much. And this is in the colorway The Shire. And then the contrast color was just a mini that she had sent me. I don't know where it's from. It didn't have a label on it. So it's a mini in a mauve color. And I thought that it worked really well. And I thought that it brought out the pinky purple colors in the lightest shade. So that it doesn't just look like a gray silver. So yeah. I was working on these today while I was at the mechanic, and and then when I got home, I was like, let me just knit the heel. So yeah, once again, per usual, my vanilla socks. Oh, I did want to say, I'm going to test something out the next time I cast on a pair of socks, which is going to be for a while since I'm still on the first sock for both of these. The next time I cast on a pair of socks, I was watching a video last night in the wee hours in the morning after my brain was like, you don't need sleep. If you couldn't tell, I did not get much sleep last night. I feel like I can tell. I was watching this video about someone who had just realized, and I feel like this is a kind of common thing if you teach yourself how to knit based on reading books. Someone realized that they were automatically twisting all their purl stitches by wrapping the yarn the opposite direction. Now, my most favorite ribbing for socks is 1x1 half twisted. And also, if you don't know this about me, I do all of my knitting inside out. I knit Portuguese style, and the purls are easier than the knit stitches. So I use purl as my dominant stitch, and I just reverse everything I ever make. And it's one of the reasons you don't see me knit patterns that often, because it's a pain in the butt. So I was watching this video, and one of the reasons I don't always do half twisted rib is that it takes a long time to keep knitting purl stitches through the back loop all the time. It takes like an extra 20 minutes for me to get through the cuff, and I'm impatient when I start socks because I want to see how pretty they're going to look. And I don't want to do the extra 20 minutes. I want to like vroom, vroom, vroom and like see how nice it looks at the end. So I decided, I watched that video and I was like, wait, instead of purling through the back loop, I can just wrap my yarn clockwise instead of counterclockwise and have a twisted stitch. I think that will work. So I feel bad because, like, obviously the person who made the video was like, oh my god, I've been knitting wrong for like, 5 years or something. And I was like, oh my god, you've just changed my life and I've been knitting for 20. Like, that's genius. So the next time I knit a pair of socks, I'm going to try the half twisted rib with the purl stitches going just like the wrong way and see how that goes. Stay tuned. I think it might actually be really, really great. We'll see. Yeah, that doesn't have anything to do with this sock specifically. I got excited. So I will hopefully report back on how that experiment goes. So part of me almost wants to take the extra needles out of a bag and just cast on a third pair of socks, but I know that I would hate myself if I did. I usually keep 2 sets of flexi flips in each bag. So each bag has 6 individual needles. But I only need 3. So I could go absolutely nuts and have 4 sock whips at a time. I would just be very stressed out and unhappy. So, regardless. The next work in progress that I have is in a bag that you hardly ever see. I have no idea where I got this. Maybe Amazon. I think technically it's a pencil case. But I think it's cute. It has mushrooms on it. However, the yarn for it is, speaking of Disney, the yarn for it is in my collectible Disney souvenir popcorn bucket. Yeah. I don't know why. When I went to Disney, I was like, I think I just watched too many like Disney food blog episodes. And I was just very convinced that the souvenirs I would want the most were the popcorn bucket and the resort mug. I didn't buy the resort mug until the final, like the next to last day. So like did not get my money's worth out of that. And then literally bought the popcorn bucket on like the last day we were there of the week. Like again, did not get, I don't know why I did that. I don't know. But anyway, this holds yarn now. So inside this bucket, I have yarn. I have a lot of yarn. It's all scrap yarn. Originally, at the start of the year, when I was doing my 12 cast-on setup, I decided that I was going to make a whole bunch of yarn cozies through the year, and I would use all the yarns within my popcorn bucket. Well, I didn't have a popcorn bucket, but I had them in a bag, and then when I got the popcorn bucket, I put everything into the popcorn bucket that I wanted to use for yarn cozies. How many yarn cozies have I made this year, you may ask? 0. Like, none. I still have the little chicken bag that has like the yarn cozy that I cast on for 12 days of cast-ons, and it's still just sitting there. Just my tiny little cozy. So no, I'm not. Yeah, I've come to Jesus on that a little bit. So I'm gonna do a different project with these, which is currently within this bag. It's gonna move out of this bag because it's gonna get too big for this bag. But I decided to borrow from the Crazy Sock Lady, and what she does when she has a lot of her scraps from her like row 1 mini subscription, and it doesn't look like anything yet. It just kind of looks like an amoeba, but I cast it on a little tubular scarf. This is like, I think an hour and a half, an hour of work. I did like 45 minutes on it and then ripped it out because I had accidentally made a Mobius and I had too many stitches and it was like way too wide. And then I recast it on in the middle of my 30-minute thing, and then I did another hour on it. So it has just over an hour of work on it. Anyway, I'm holding yarn double. I'm just doing random scrap yarns, and I'm using a size 7 needle, and I have 80 stitches, and it's literally just a tube with just a basic rolled edge thing. And I'm just gonna knit myself a whole big scarf, and then when it's done, I'm gonna put it to the side. One of the things that I'm going to do when I hold my Yule party this year, Yule is a very important holiday for me. It has been, like, ever since I started identifying as, like, pagan. And one of the things I really like to do to celebrate is just having, like, a big house party and just inviting everyone over and, like, cooking some food for my friends and, like, giving them presents that I've, like, really spent a lot of time putting together. And it is, like, a big thing. And like it is August, and I have already told my friends, like, you need to save it into your calendar for this day. Like, I need you to be at my house for this day. Like, we're spending this evening together. And anyway, one of the things I want to do for my party this year is I want to have, I just want to put out a basket of, like, random things that I've knit through the year. It's probably going to be a lot of tiny pigs. It's also probably going to be a couple of beanies, assuming I actually finish some more beanies. Probably this scarf, just some random assorted things. And then I'm just going to put a sign on it that just kind of, like, take what you want and just kind of leave it in there. I might throw some trinkets or necklaces in there as well. Just, like, various different things. If people want them, they can have them. If they don't want them, that's fine. And whatever they don't take, I will just donate from there. Probably to, like, the local homeless shelter or something. We'll see. And yeah, anyway, I have this, and it's going to eat up a lot of scrap yarn, and hopefully someone will want it. And if they don't, I'm sure it will keep somebody in need warm. So yeah, that's that project. It doesn't really have a name. It's just kind of tube scarf. my Disney popcorn bucket tube scarf. I really, really, really like this project so much. In fact, it came up on the spinner yesterday, and today was Tiny Pigs. But I do think that for my final hour of knitting today, because I've only done about 3 hours, I think for my final hour of knitting, I'm going to go back to working on that project, because I'm just really, really enjoying it. It's such a mind check out, and you're just going around and around and around and watching all the scraps disappear out. So it's wonderful. Anyway, we're going to take some more hydration breaks because I feel like I'm, like, losing my voice or something. I'm not actually. I just never talk anymore because I just stay home and do nothing. How refreshing. Okay. I think I'm checking my notes, and my notes are like, I did not really do my best effort at my notes. So I think the next thing we're going to talk about is all the yarn I've brought into my house recently. The first one I'm going to talk about is the yarn that I won. I won yarn from participating in Alindria's knit along for the summer. She did like a sock knit along with a ocean escape theme, and I did not get as much. I think I talked about this in the last episode. I did not get as many points as I wanted because I was really injured, and I was kind of trying to figure out what to do with my life for most of late June and most of July. So originally I planned to get over 100 points and just, like, go absolutely nuts and knit some of her patterns and, like, get through a whole bunch of my stash. And well, when it started, I was doing exactly that. In fact, I just purchased one of her patterns to knit for the knit along, and then I got severely injured, and the idea of knitting pattern socks that would slow me down more than I already am slowed down would just be too much. So I was like, we're not doing that. We're not gonna do that. So at some point I'm gonna knit, I think it's the Coral Reflections socks by Jennifer Bolu. If you're looking up on Ravelry, if you're looking on Instagram, it's Alindria Knits. At some point I'm gonna make those socks. Don't know when. Anyway, I still ended up somehow being the person with the highest points. I wasn't, like, officially announced as that, but she said, like, who had the highest number of points and, like, how many pairs of socks, and it was me. It was my numbers. So I was like, ooh. And then also when she announced the prize winners, I was the very first person that she announced a prize for, and it was to win 2 sock sets from Mystic Mountain Yarn. And here they are. And I love them. They're so bright and exciting. This one I think is like my favorite. This is Tusk Love with Dynamite Turquoise. It is an 85% extra fine superwash merino wool, 15% nylon. Fingering weight, obviously. And then this one is pink and darker pink with Portal Door sock set. So, they're both really, really nice. I'm really, really excited for them. They're super squishy. And, yeah. Yeah, I haven't picked yarn for literally everyone on my list yet. And I need to go back through and see who I still need to assign yarn for. And see if maybe I can squeeze this one in. Because they're just really fun. And they're just, I really, really like this one. So, yeah, those are the 2 yarns that I won. So, shout out to Alindria. Shout out to Mystic Mountain Fibers. One of the other things that I really like about winning this is, unfortunately, this yarn dyer had broken her ankle. And so, like, she had closed her shop because she was like, my ankle's broken. And so when I messaged her and I was like, hi, I won a prize, I was like very worried that it was going to take a while or like she wasn't going to be able to fulfill it after all. And she managed to send it at a time like when her shop is closed. And I was like, oh, like that means that's so nice. Like I really appreciate that. Like I'm not hurting for yarn right now. Like that was not like something that needed to be a priority, and she prioritized it anyway. And I thought that was like really, really sweet. So yeah, when her shop reopens, I think I'm going to have to browse it a little bit. Not that I need more yarn. I don't have room for all my yarn. I did not plan to buy so much yarn. The yarn just happened to me. Of course. Also, I was also influenced by Love Sock Wool. She was talking about a yarn dyer that I don't even remember the name of. And she was talking about like literally one sock set, and I just had a moment of weakness and my hand slipped, and so on Sunday morning I like went on Ravelry. Or not Ravelry, I went on to Etsy and bought 5 more sock sets. Don't have room for them. All of my stash bins are completely full. So I'm gonna have to deal with that. In the meantime, let's talk about the yarn we already have. I'll show you my other yarn haul when it arrives. It's not here yet. And then after that, I think I'm going to have to go on a no-buy for a while because I literally do not have room for all the yarn that I own. And it's a lot and it's overwhelming. So anyway, I ordered 2 yarns from 3 by the Sea in their most recent update. They're right here and I'm freaking obsessed with them. This one is Coral Reef. This is in the Sanibel base. I think they're both on Sanibel base. This one is Chasing Clues. And this is the reason I actually went on to buy things from them. Because it's Scooby-Doo. And I've been reading a lot of cozy mysteries lately, and the fun thing about cozy mysteries is they're basically Scooby-Doo episodes for adults. And I love them, and they're just so, so good. And it made me realize that I was not a Disney kid, I was a Scooby-Doo kid. I was like a Cartoon Network and Scooby-Doo kind of little kid. So I was like, I need to get my Scooby-Doo yarn now that I have realized what my identity is. So yeah, I have these. I'm excited about them. I think that's all I really have to say. And then that brings us to the main event of the yarn haul. The person behind Magic Land Yarns has my number. So also shout out to Therapy by Craft for influencing me so much. This is what started it. I watched Therapy by Craft knit up a sample of Radiator Springs. And I was like, I need that yarn. Like, I need that yarn. So I ordered it, and I knew it was going to be a pre-order. So I did not put anything else in the order. I was like, just this one. It'll be awesome. We will not ruin a yarn dyer's life by putting a whole bunch of things that she's already dyed in with pre-order yarn. We're not going to do that. This is on Princess Sock, by the way. And I got it, obviously. In the meantime, I subscribed to the Instagram, or followed the Instagram, and I started getting the emails. And I saw the Halloween yarn, so I had to get They don't look like Halloween yarns, but I don't care. I had to get the Halloween. I had to get Cute Ghost. And I had to get Spooky But Cute, because I love speckles. Do any of my friends really like pink socks? No. Do I like pink socks? Also, no. I wanted them so badly, and I'm like, who are these for? I don't know. I just have them. I have a problem. Yeah. They're so squishy. They're so soft. They're incredible. I also got the Marigold Bridge that I already showed you that I'm literally already knitting up. I'm knitting them while I watch stuff on Disney Plus. By the way, I watched Tall Tale for the first time. And I talked about this on my Instagram, if you're following my Instagram. My Instagram link will be down below. You don't have to follow me. If you want to, you will hear more things about my life, because I have been updating it more often than I am on here, because I don't have to put in as much effort. But anyway, I watched Tall Tale for the first time, and it might be my throat is so mad. Literally might be my favorite Disney movie of all time. It was so good. It's one of the deep cuts. It is from the 90s. It has Patrick Swayze. It's like this 12-year-old kid has to save his family farm from an evil railroad company with the help of Pecos Bill and Paul Bunyan and John Henry. And I'm like, I'm sold. I'm say no more. I was a Little House on the Prairie kid, and like absolutely every part of this slaps. Oh man. Anyway, I ordered more yarn. Here's what happened is I was like, okay, I'm done ordering yarn. And then on Instagram, the dyer was like, hey, have you seen our neps? And I went, oh no. Keep in mind, I already own Neps yarns from a different yarn dyer. I have some Chemnitz, Neps yarn. So anyway, this is Star Sock featuring Neon Neps is the base. I have Caribbean Sea. I have, Land of the Dead. I feel like the two of these together are really giving Jasmine, who is, I think, my favorite Disney princess. I love the world of Aladdin. Yeah, anyway, I also got Backside of Water. And I think it's gorgeous. I hope the camera's picking up exactly how good it looks. Because this one's, it's incredible. So good. I don't know what I'm going to do with these. I mean, socks are the obvious choice. I wish I had brought over my Chemnitz ones to hold it with this. But because the other thing I could do is, like, at this point I have 400 grams of sock weight. And that's, like, basically a crop sweater. And I could just do giant blocks of different colors and have a sweater. So, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. Stay tuned, I guess, for some random point in the future as I knit through the massive yarn stash that I have. Anyway, I left one of the books I need to show you over there, and that is almost everything I went to talk about for knitting. It is such a full episode. We are already at 40 minutes. Cool. It's crazy that I've only knit for like 22 hours since the last time we talked, but I have so much to show. I don't know. It rains, it pours, I guess. Final thing I want to talk about. My stash overfloweth. And also, so do my handmade socks. I have probably 10 more pairs that are dirty and need to be washed. I just haven't prioritized it because it's the middle of summer and I'm not wearing handmade socks. I also have all of these, and some of them I love more than others. So I kind of just want to get feedback. I'm thinking about either doing like an Etsy de-stash for some of my yarns that I know I'm not going to get to, or some of the socks that I know I don't love wearing that are like lightly worn. Some of the socks I knit last year I literally have only worn like once or twice. Like, they still look not perfect condition, but they still look like pristine. You're going to get years of wear out of them. So I'm thinking about selling some of the hand-knit socks that I've made, selling some of the yarn that I have. And I don't know where I would do it. I feel like Etsy is an obvious choice. I know people also sell their hand-knit socks on like Poshmark or Vinted. Let me know if you would buy used gently worn socks. If you would buy yarn that's been sitting in someone else's stash, let me know. On the flip side, if you're like, that gives me the ick to buy someone else's yarn stash, like, I'm not going to take that personally, but I would like to know. Because I would really hate to like put all the work together of like, you know, taking all the pictures and uploading everything to Etsy and then just have like it just sit there and nothing happens. Like, anyway, let me know what you think about that. In the meantime, I'm going to go grab that book. And I'm going to come back and we're going to talk about reading. So if you were only here for Fiber Arts, thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next time. If you were only here for reading, I don't know how you would find this point because I have never figured out how to put timestamps in YouTube videos. But welcome to the club. Welcome in. Let's talk about reading. Yeah, I'll be right back. Hi, hello. I hope you missed me. I have 5 books to talk about today. The first one is How to Lose a Goblin in 10 Days by Jessie Silva. This is probably my favorite book that I've read all month. It's pretty closely tied with the book I'm going to talk about next, but this one is so freaking cute and cozy and adorable, and it took like a day and a half to read it. It's so good. I just, you guys. It is a cozy romance. Cozy fantasy romance that does not have any super spicy scenes, so if spice is not for you, don't worry. It is about a halfling who's never really fit in and a goblin who feels too much responsibility for his clan, who both basically inherit the same house and neither of them can afford to leave and fail. So they make a deal with each other that whoever moves out first wins, or like you know, forfeits their claim to the house. And so they start living together, and there's a 1-bed trope. Again, it's not spicy. They're just sleeping in the same bed and they're both feeling feelings about being in very close proximity to each other. It's steamy, not spicy. And of course they fall in love. And it's very cute and adorable. And I think like most of my friends should read it. Probably like if you're team cozy, it's a must read. It's so cute. After that I read Whiskey Business by Adrienne Andover, which is in fact a cozy mystery. That is the genre. I am obsessed with this book. I love it so much. I know I was like, if you follow me on Instagram, you already know I'm like obsessed. This is this follows a gay man. We love to see gay men in cozy mysteries. And he runs a literary speakeasy named Subplot, which is, I feel like at that point, I feel like I can just end that sentence and be like, that's all you need to know. Like, I'm sold. If you're not sold on that already, I don't know. Anyway, he runs a literary speakeasy named Subplot, and one night he's hosting a whiskey tasting club, and someone's causing a little bit of a ruckus, and then he storms out. He leaves. He gets thrown out of the meeting. And that night, after closing, the owner is taking out the trash. I can't remember his name for whatever reason. Reese. His name's Reese. I'm really bad with remembering character names, just in general. Anyway, Reese is taking out the trash that night, and he trips on something, and it is the dead body of the person who stormed out of his business. And he's like, oh my God. And so he obviously calls the cops. He is worried that he might end up being the lead suspect. He's like worried about how it's going to affect his business because he had just opened it a couple months prior. He's like, oh my God, what do I do? And of course, as one does in any cozy mystery, he decides that with the power of small town gossip as a small business owner, he will solve the mystery better than the police. So he does. He does that. And that's the book. Yes. Spoiler. Mystery does get solved. He adopts a cat. He's going through this really awkward time in his life where he has not come out yet, but he has broken off his engagement to a woman that he still deeply, deeply, deeply loves, but obviously like not, like he's gay. So he's like, you're like my favorite person in the entire world, but like I have to be true to myself. And then he also like hasn't told anyone else like why they broke up. And so he's kind of navigating that situation, which I thought the author did a really good job of portraying kind of like the experience of being a late bloomer and like what it's like when some people know the truth about you and other people don't know yet, and you're just kind of in this like weird limbo of juggling who knows what. Yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was really great. Yeah, it was just super, super charming. The characters are super charming. I love them. I love them so much that there's 2 other books we're going to talk about, but it makes more sense for me to talk about this one first. So I'm currently reading the second book, Poor Choices. Again, Adrienne Andover. I'm obviously not very far into it. I was bedrotting a lot. Like mostly last week. This week I'm a little bit more functional, but last week I was having a reset kind of week. And so I stayed in bed basically all day, every day. I did like maybe 1 hour of knitting. And I ate like 1 meal a day. I did not get out of bed otherwise. And I murdered my sleep schedule and I did no reading. So yeah, I know it doesn't sound like I did no reading because I have a whole bunch of things to show you, but it's also been like 2 weeks since I talked to you. So most of this reading happened before my reset week or after my reset week. Same for the knitting. I was useless last week, I promise. Anyway. Poor Choices is book 2, and in this one, our boy Reese Parker is having a successful time at his business, and he decides that one of the things he wants to do to further increase sales and further get more community members into his speakeasy is that he's going to start hosting a comedy night. He brings in a woman who's like gone viral on TikTok for her comedy routines, the way that she engages the audience, and he's very excited to have her there. Her comedy is very not funny. In fact, it's like kind of openly offensive to some of the people in the audience. Someone even like storms out after being heckled. Also, she is being heckled on stage, but no one's really sure if it's real heckling or if it was staged because she comes back from it so well. And of course, everyone goes home. The following morning, Reese's best friend is out for a walk along the riverside. He sees something in the water, and it's the comedian. She's died. And so, once again, the power of small town gossip beats out local law enforcement every time. And so Reese Parker says, I have to save my reputation. I have to save my best friend's reputation. I personally need to solve this murder. I'm like, yes, you do, sweetie. You go do that. Let me know how that goes. So that's not how far I've gotten in the book. But I'm enjoying it so much. It's just so ridiculous. I'm excited about this book because I don't know if I can say this without spoiling it, so I'm just going to stop myself mid-sentence. I'm excited about this book because of things that happened in book 1 that I'm not going to tell ya. So if you want to read this book, you should. It's really, really good. Also, while I'm talking about these books, I know that we're going on, and we're at the point now where this is probably going to be an hour-long episode. I'm so sorry. But I want to say this because it also, in reading these books, it has come to my attention how many of the people in my life did not know certain things about the public library system. And so I want to share them. This is kind of a tangent. These books were not in my public library system, and I wanted them, and I did not feel like paying full price for them because I have bought a lot of books lately. So I went onto my local public library website, and under when you usually, this goes for like most public library websites are usually set up the same way. I went to the drop down menu and I found the services section and I clicked on it. And then there was a sub menu and that included a page that said suggest a purchase. So I went to suggest a purchase. I put in my name. I put in my library card number, which I am who I am as a person. So I keep my library card number saved in the notes app on my phone so that I can copy and paste this and request books whenever I want. Anyway, you put in your name, your library card number, the title of the book, the author of the book, and what format you want. And you just hit submit. And the people who purchase books for your local library will see that request. And if they have the budget for it, they will just order the books and put them on hold for you. Depending on your library, you can use this resource for like ebooks. You can use them for audiobooks, including both like Libby or like CDs. You can use them for physical books. I was showing one of my friends about this who lives in Miami, so she has like the Miami-Dade one. You can ask them to order video games for you. If you didn't know this, now you know. Because use your taxpayer dollars in a way that benefits you. Like, this is a service that you already pay for if you're paying taxes in the United States. So get your library card, first of all. Second of all, if there's a book you want to read, your library doesn't have it, you can get this. You can still ask them to get it for you. One of the other things is sometimes when you ask for books, they may not be able to order it just because of like pricing or availability or something, but they also usually have reciprocal programs with other libraries, so they may be able to still get the book for you by borrowing it from a different network. So just keep that in mind. That's my lovely PSA today. And I know that it's kind of like United States specific. I don't know how the libraries work in other countries, so I know I have like some Norwegian subscribers. I would love to know how your library system works and if you can ask your library to purchase books for you. But in the United States you can. That's like a pretty standard feature, and librarians actually love when you do that because it takes the guesswork out for them, because like they, you know, they have the statistics of what's been checked out, but that automatically means that if they don't have a book, they're not going to have a statistic on it. So ask them, and then they know for sure, and they can justify their own budget by saying people have asked us to buy this, and then you have it. So yeah. Anyway, we're going to double back down to 2 other books that I read. It's kind of random. I'm doing a kind of random thing. I know I do a lot of kind of random things. I'm trying to doom scroll less. One of the ways that I do that, I've talked about before, is I have a Spanish learning app. And if I'm trying to like fall asleep, I will like do Spanish flashcards until I keep getting wrong answers, and then I know I'm tired and I need to go to bed. One of the other things I did was I went onto the Kindle store and I bought, don't judge me, I bought the complete works of Shakespeare for 99 cents because they're public domain. And I have them on my phone. I put them on my phone Kindle app. I have a physical Kindle. I have no plans. I have 0 plans whatsoever to read Shakespeare on my Kindle as like an actual sit-down book that I am prioritizing. However, when I am stuck out and about and I don't have my knitting, or if I'm trying to sleep and I don't feel like learning Spanish at the moment, I'll just open my Kindle app and start reading some Shakespeare, because 1, it makes me feel smart. 2, I'm not invested enough to care, or like if I forget a bunch of details, I was probably lost in the sauce anyway with the flowery language and everything, then like it doesn't bother me to just kind of like vibe along until I figure it out. Anyway, I've finished 2 plays this span, like since I've talked to you last. The first one I read actually was not part of, well, I mean, it's in the anthology, but I haven't gotten to it yet. It's Titus Andronicus. I read it because it is my favorite Shakespeare play. It is the first play he ever wrote. It is incredibly bloody. It has cannibalism. It has like half of the cast gets murdered by the end of the thing. It does have some SA, so if that is a trigger for you, maybe not this one. It also has someone's tongue getting cut out. It's a lot. It's a whole lot. It is like if Shakespeare wrote horror, it's Titus Andronicus. It also has your mom jokes. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's not like a problematic play. It is. Most of Shakespeare's plays are. They have, social constructs coming up that we maybe feel differently about now than we did 500, 600 years ago. Absolutely. But it's also just, to me at least, very entertaining in an incredibly gory way. So I loved reading it again. And then after I finished reading it, I was like, you know what? No one's stopping me from getting the complete works and just reading my way through Shakespeare instead of scrolling Instagram mindlessly or Tumblr or wherever. So then I read A Comedy of Errors. The way that this book is set up, all of the comedies come first. So I read through A Comedy of Errors. It was not my favorite. The way that my particular book is set up, all of the characters' names, for some reason, were abbreviated. And so if you haven't read A Comedy of Errors, basically the whole premise is that it's two sets of twins who are separated at birth end up in the same town. And it's like one set of twins becomes the servants for the other set of twins. But also, like, neither of them they don't know that they have a twin. And so there's two people who like live in town, they're living their best life, whatever, minding their own business, and then their twins get shipwrecked on the shore, and they start going through town, and of course nobody else knows that they're the twins, so they get mistaken for the original people, and a whole bunch of shenanigans ensue until finally at the end they realize, oh my god, you're long lost twins, like when they're in the same room together, and all is well that ends well. Not to make another Shakespeare reference. And it was okay, but when I was reading it, the names of the characters were just like S-A-N-T, and then like E, ant, and then like S-dro, and E-dro, and it was just very, very difficult for me to like keep these characters apart for myself and figure out who was who or follow along. I found that very annoying and distracting. So it was not my favorite. I would have given it like a 3 out of 5 as far as Shakespeare plays. Right now, Titus Andronicus takes the lead as my favorite. So I finished that. I've also started the next one. I was sitting in the waiting room for 5 minutes yesterday before PT, and I was like, well, that's enough time to read the first 2 scenes of the next book. So I started Taming of the Shrew. That one is going to be very fascinating. Taming of the Shrew is about a woman who is independently minded and does not want to get married, and is living her best life as a single noblewoman. And her father and her suitors decide that no, she needs to like really learn her place and become a married woman who is obedient and does not speak out or whatever. And they do this by things we would today classify as abuse, including like locking her in a closet and refusing to give her food, and like a lot of bad things. And then it breaks her, and then she becomes a good wife, and it's all happily ever after. Again, Shakespeare's real questionable sometimes. Like I feel like a lot of people have a tendency to romanticize the past, but sometimes you read Shakespeare and you're like, I'm so glad I was not there. Like, so happy. So happy to live in the here and now, where I can do what I want with my life and my money and not do that. No, thank you. Anyway, I haven't read Taming the Shrew in a very long time. I read it in one of my college English classes. This is some deep lore. I went to college in Miami. Went to Florida International University. If you are not super familiar with Miami has a reputation for being very like party heavy, like lots of alcohol, lots of drugs, lots of clubs. And when people say Miami in that context, what they specifically mean is South Beach and South Beach only. The rest of Miami, not really like that. The rest of Miami, very, very conservative. Very like you're gonna have a curfew, very like a controlled environment, just very traditional mindset. It's very interesting when I lived in Miami. Anyway, when we talked about this book in class, it really threw me through a loop, because the person teaching this class, my professor, was like clearly like a liberal minded, you know, empowered female kind of gal. And I remember she asked the class one day, like, is this actually a comedy? Like, is it a good thing that this character goes through the trials that she went through? And the majority of the people in my class were like, yeah, she was out of line. She deserves that. And I was so horrified. Like I did not really speak up a whole lot in most of my college classes. I was a mess when I was in college. Like I was doing good if I got to class, because I was severely, severely depressed. And it was just not a good time in my life. Anyway, and like I had like never spoken up in class before, and I was like, what's wrong with all of you? Like, what are you talking about? Like, this is literally abuse. Like if this was happening now, if you saw this happening to somebody and your reaction was not to like call the police, then like you are an objectionable person, period. And people in my class were like disagreeing with me. And I was like, what is happening? Insane. I don't think I've ever talked about this before, but it was just such a bizarre experience. And ever since then, I've just been like afraid to like deal with Taming of the Shrew again. Because I'm just like, there are people who like genuinely think this is an okay thing, and it's crazy. That's nuts. Anyway, we're going to see how Taming the Shrew goes. A lot of things happen in the first scene that I don't remember happening when I read through it the first time. Like, they're playing a prank on this like homeless drunkard, where they're dressing him up as a nobleman and seeing what happens when he wakes up and what he does. So I am interested to see what happens there, because I don't remember that at all. I just remember the main character being like abused. I feel like I was laughing a lot during that. Abuse is bad. Don't do that. Seek help. Anyway, that's all I have to say. That is such a chaotic note to end on, but like, the next book I'm going to read after I finish Poor Choices is Ninth House. I'm very excited for that. I've wanted to read it ever since it came out, and I just have never done that. And I bought that book earlier this year in one of my many, many book hauls that I've had this year. So I'm going to try to read that next. I just have to finish Poor Choices. And Poor Choices is only going to take me like literally a day to read. It's short. It's like 230 pages. And I'm already 55 pages in. And they're also like it goes really fast. It's written really well, so the pages turn themselves. I just need to actually focus and do that thing instead of, you know, filming on my floor for an hour and not doing reading. So, yeah. Anyway, that is for realsies this time. All I have to say. Thank you so much for hanging with me for an entire hour. I feel like I should give you an emoji to leave if you got all the way to the end, but I can't think of one. So leave me your favorite emoji, I guess. Leave me a comment in general if you feel like it. Yeah, I'll talk to you next time, whenever that may be. Okay, bye.